The EMS Safety Course Roster is a required document. Why the roster is important. The roster is the official course record. Without a complete or legible roster, the course is not valid. The roster is also a legal document that may be requested by EMS Safety, an employer, or even a court of law. It is the instructor's obligation to provide a copy of the roster whenever it's requested. In addition to record-keeping requirements, the roster is marketing gold because in the next 2 years, all those people on the roster will need recertification. The EMS Safety Course Roster is located on your EMS Safety Instructor Resource CD. It's in the folder entitled Roster. Every instructor is issued a resource disc in his or her instructor kit. Rosters and other vital course documents can also be downloaded from the Instructor Corner at www.emssafetyservices.com/login. The roster is 3 pages long. The first page is an instructional page. Page 2 and page 3 are required as part of the course records. Page 2 is a summary of the course and the students. Page 3 is a summary of their completed skills and test scores. Remember, both page 2 and page 3 are required to form a complete roster. Page 2. Page 2 of the roster documents a lot of important information about the course, starting with who taught it. The instructor's name, unique instructor number, and phone number go in these fields. Then the date of training goes here. Be sure that the date on the roster is the same as the dates on the course completion cards. Any assisting instructor information goes here. Remember, always maintain a ratio of at least 1 instructor for every 12 students. Information about the course location will go in these 2 rows. We also need to document the course type in these fields. Check any that apply. Students can put their info into these fields. We'll need it to be legible, so remind students to print clearly. The contact information can be workplace or personal. Each course completion card has a unique number that's entered into this column here. Lastly, the instructor will sign and date at the bottom of the roster to validate it. Course Roster, page 3. Page 3 of the roster is a skills and testing summary. Remember, both page 2 and page 3 are required for a completed roster. If you're using this file digitally, the instructor info and student names you typed on page 2 will carry down to the corresponding fields on page 3. Check off each skill as it's performed correctly. Document their CPR and first aid written exam scores in these fields. Lastly, sign off and date the skills summary page to validate it. As you can see, the roster is a valuable and required document for the instructor, the organization, and its students, and for EMS safety. Never teach a course without a completed roster. Remember that completed course records can include the roster and written exams. Exams can be found on the resource disc. Previous versions of course rosters are no longer valid. Only use the current EMS Safety Course Roster and always include the skills summary page. Feel free to contact us with any questions, and thank you for taking the time to learn about EMS Safety Course Rosters.